Hello everybody, my name is Sophia George and this is my campaign on climate change and its severe impacts it has on our regions and world today. Ever since I was a kid, I've always wanted to be able to see snow and feel the cold, but being in Florida, we know that seeing snow is practically impossible, and that cold is also getting rarer too as we feel Florida getting warmer and warmer every year to the point that nobody really wants to go outside anymore. And when I realized that this is because of climate change, it snapped something in my brain. It made me realize that climate change is so much more serious than what everybody is making it out to be. It's very severe and we need to be paying attention to it. As it's not only rising temperatures, but it's also rising sea levels. As we can see on this model, Florida's sea levels are rising drastically from 1 to 6 meters all around the coast. And soon enough, Florida's gonna be shrinking, it's gonna be flooded, the land is gonna be severely decreased, and which only emphasizes the actions need to be taken against climate change. And this brings me to my thesis that climate change is detrimental to society and the environment, and that more awareness and action should be taken towards its worsening effects. And some background to climate change is that it became such a big thing when the Industrial Revolution started because more machines that involved fossil fuels started being used, and more fossil fuels equals higher carbon emission and more greenhouse gases being emitted into the air and being trapped, which ultimately leads to stuff like rising sea levels, rising temperatures, floods, and so much more natural disasters that we see today. Some evidence and statistics is that the study indicates by climate change rising temperatures, the study indicates that by 2100, groundwater temperatures will rise by 2.1 Celsius in SSP to the 2 to 4.5 scenario, and by 2.1 degrees Celsius in the SSP 5 to 8.5 scenario. And basically what this means is that groundwater temperature is going to be rising. And if you know the water cycle, you know that evaporation leads to condensation and precipitation. So the higher the groundwater is, the more evaporation and water vapor is going to be in the air, which ultimately leads to a higher precipitation, a much more heavy rainfall that's going to be happening all around the earth, which leads to more floods as we see today. Is so detrimental and is killing so many people. So many flash floods are happening around the world, which is so detrimental to land and society. In the country of Austria Committee on Environment states that increased heat waves have also caused increasing concern about the security of drinking water supplies. Toshnik explained to the committee. Norbert Toshnik is the Minister of Agriculture in Austria, which provides some credibility to the statement. But basically, rising temperatures is leading to the demand in water. And eventually, if this water supply depletes, that is not good for society. What is society going to do with no water and then high temperatures? That is not ideal. And another thing to think about is that the more water is being demanded, the higher it's going to be costing. And that is not good for society because many people cannot handle that. Many people are not able to purchase water due to its high prices, which is sad because it's a basic necessity for everybody. Based on sample of over 5 million students, the University of Gothenburg details findings states that results showed that a 1 degree C increase in annual average temperature leads to a 0.07 and 0.08 standard deviation decrease in test scores, which is really showing that the high temperature is not only affecting water, but it's affecting society's education, children's education, which many people have fought so hard for, yet it's being affected by climate change, which shows that so much action needs to be taken because we don't want to allow the things that we fought for to be taken away by something that we can help, that we can fight against. And this leads me to the next claim that some people don't believe that climate change is because of humans, but it's actually natural. But one study found by Gottlieb and Mankin that human forced changes to temperature and precipitation have altered spring snowpack trends in 31 major river basins in the northern hemisphere. And this is just one of many evidences that show that humans are a big cause of climate change. And not only stuff like this, but simple things like using a car, a gas oven, or whatever, that all emits global carbon emissions and greenhouse gases in the air. If we can just reduce it a little every day, that could help. Here are some photographs by NASA that show the regions being affected. This is Australia, New South Wales, before and after. You can see that there's no flooding here, but there is flooding here. And not only in Australia, but in California's Shasta Lakes, right, you can see that the sea levels are rising. You can see that it's pretty low here, but it's rising drastically here. And it just goes on to demonstrate how much we need to take action against climate change. And this brings me to my next slide, our call to action. There are so many organizations that are focused on giving and trying to stop climate change and its effects. And there are just some here that I've given out. Global Giving Climate Action Fund, which supports local and community-led climate solutions around the world, and the Clean Air Task Force, which focuses on cutting global greenhouse gases by using newly built or special technology that is made just for trying to stop it. And the Nature Conservancy works to conserve the lands and waters on which life depends, on which societies need. And so I've given all the links here so that you can think about donating or just helping to stop climate change. And here are some awareness posters. Act now for a greater tomorrow, and reduce, reuse, recycle. Practice 3 R's of sustainability. And this is a great example because we can do something as small as recycling things that need to be recycled instead of putting it in the trash, which may seem small, but it truly is one huge step for helping stop climate change. And these are my works cited and of all the sources I've used in MLA format. And this is my campaign for climate change, and I hope that through this presentation that I've made that you are able to see the drastic effects that climate change truly has on our society, and that we as a society can help stop it. We can face back the consequences of our actions by doing small things or big things to help stop climate change. Thank you.